So today we are going to talk about something I want to call social intelligence. Social intelligence. Social intelligence. And what this is really about is how we navigate our social spaces with your family, with your friends. Because make no mistake, there are rules that govern how these relationships work. The relationships in the family, the relationships with your friends, the relationship in the workplace, even when it comes to dating. And I want to put all these things under the umbrella I will call social intelligence. So a lot of us operate on the premise of we are looking for unconditional love. It's a very big thing. We want people to love us unconditional love. And unconditional love is a myth. It doesn't exist. It's a thing that many of us seem to be looking for. We want partners who will love us unconditionally. We want friends who will love us unconditionally. And when we often say unconditional love is we don't want to be held accountable. We want people who will continue to do good things for us even when we are terrible people. In many circles, this is what we really mean. We don't want to improve ourselves. We don't want to become better people, but we want people to continue to tolerate us, people to continue to do good things for us, even when we do nothing for them. We want, you know, someone who always say we are good, even when we know ourselves we have done nothing to deserve to be called good people. People who don't question us, people who don't hold us accountable for our bad decisions. Usually, this is what we mean when we say we want unconditional love. And this does not exist. All love, all love, all love is conditional. All love is conditional. I say every relationship is like a negotiation, and every time you try to go to the negotiating table empty-handed, you will get screwed over. So it's very important that we get a deeper understanding of the unwritten contract, because a contract is an agreement between two people or more people. But every time you enter into a contract, you're supposed to enter with full knowledge, understanding what is expected of each party. But most of the times, these days, there is an unwritten contract about how certain spaces ought to be navigated. But many of us are not, we have not been observant and cognizant enough for us to know that such a contract exists. So there are two types of relationships. I would say there is communal, communal relationship, and there is generally what I would call transactional. Transactional. All relationships you have in your life fall in these two categories. In communal relationship, I would say we have family. Most families anyway, if a family is functional, it's supposed to be in this category where you give without necessarily expecting anything back, because it might come back to you in some shape or form. True friendships, true friendships are communal. I give you 500 today, you don't necessarily pay back. And sometime later I'll come and ask for a 700. You might not pay back, but I know it is gonna come back. So I don't mind. I don't mind. we go out today, I pay for drinks because I know some days from now we'll go out and you'll cover for drinks and you're not gonna ask me for anything. So we have communal relationship, which is supposed to be family and friendships. But work, and I would say a very few romantic relationships also romantic may also fall in this category. But when we talk of work and most relationships these days, romance these days is very much transactional. What else can I put in that category? So the mistake we make, right? The mistake many of us make is thinking, because when you treat a communal relationship like a transactional relationships, the person here who knows is here. When you want to pay back your father for everything he has ever done for you, he will become very, very, very offended because the nature of the relationship is communal. You pay back, yes, there is value for value exchanged, but it is not transactional. You cannot calculate how much your father took you to school when you were sick. He was there, tucking you in at night and doing all these things. You cannot add monetary value to that. There are people who I know personally who have said they will pay back their parents for everything that has ever done for them, and their parents were very offended because you are treating a transactional relationship like a communal relationship. And the mistake many of us make is you have a transactional relationship. I would put even business relationships here. When you treat a transactional relationship as well like a communal relationship, because transactional relationship is cost benefit analysis. All the costs are calculated. Your The relationship between a boss and his employees is transactional. You are a business owner, you have employees, you have customers. These people do not love you. They love that you can do your work on time. They appreciate that you pay on time when you take some things. They and this When you treat it like a communal relationship, say, oh, I provided his products on time, but he's still treating. Yes, when the money does not come, when money is not the cost or whatever that thing has not been paid, you will have problems because you are not here. You are here, and every dollar is counted. So you and your co-workers, you in many romantic relationships these days, business relationships, it's very much transactional. Every cost is calculated. Because I remember even like I think the the past week, I lost one of my brothers, right? And I was in mourning. You know, I had posted it on my status, and I even on TikTok because I run a micro lending business. So I expected that people, the clients will understand I'm in mourning, but no, the people were calling. No, the clients. The nature of our relationship is that I provide a service which is money when they need it and they pay it back with interest. And at some point, I kind of felt a little bit like, oh, these people are insensitive. How can they be asking for loans when I'm in mourning and they've seen it? But you get to understand that this is a transactional relationship. They don't care. It is of no use or value to them that I'm in mourning. The question is just, do I have money in that moment to loan them? And if it's yes, the money should be processed. They are not concerned about if I'm mourning, if I'm happy, if I'm okay, because this is a transactional relationship. And many of you, when you understand this, you see that the people you call your girlfriends, they are really your employees. Many people think they are in relationships, but actually you are a boss and you have an employee. They expect their allowance. They want their hair to be done. Regardless of your financial situation, regardless of how you are doing, regardless of which bills you have to pay, they expect that you will meet because the relationship is transactional. Should you, any relationship you are in, which is supposedly romantic in your case, but when you withhold an allowance, when you do not do the person's hair, when you do not pay for whatever it is they expect you to pay for, if when you don't do this and the person is offended at you, they are not talking to you, their attitude changes, you know that you're in a transactional relationship. You know it because remember I said romantic relationships can be communal in the sense that maybe you do certain things for your partner, but your partner also understands when you don't have. But many of the romantic relationships we have in this modern era, they are very much transactional. So I began by saying this is social intelligence. Understand which relationship you are in. And every relationship, there is value you must bring. Many of us say we are looking for unconditional love, but I began also earlier by saying that there is no such thing as unconditional love. All love is conditional. All love is conditional. And I had mentioned that you must treat what? Um, every relationship like a negotiation. So all love is conditional. All love is conditional. Treat every relationship like a nego like a negotiation because you do not go to the negotiating table with empty hands. If you go to a negotiation table empty handed, you will get screwed over. Someone will take advantage of you. So you make sure that when you go to a negotiating table, you provide some kind of value because what relationships are is value exchange. Every time you are in any kind of relationship, there is an exchange of value. Even for a parent child, there is an exchange of value. For you and your partner, there is an exchange of value. The key to being in any relationship is just understanding what value you provide. What value do you provide? You need to understand that. What value do you provide? You need to understand what do I bring to the table? And I am sorry, women, but you cannot be the table. You cannot be the table. You cannot be the table. No one individual is the table. That is why there is a relationship where there is an exchange. There is an exchange of value. Providing is value. Cooking or cleaning is value. Um, childbearing is value. If you are able to companionship is value. Because maybe when I say value, people think it's money. No, it doesn't have to be money. But I'm saying there must be an exchange of value for a relationship to continue. Because whether a relationship is communal or transactional, if it is one-sided, it is always one person who is putting and putting, and the other person is just a receiver. that relationship will soon go out of balance and it will crumble. So if all relationships are an exchange of value, value comes in many shapes and sizes. So you must understand what your value is in a given relationship. Because what I'm really trying is to remove the delusion that many of us have. We are very delusional about how life works. We are very delusional about the different situations that we are in our lives. And we always become very disappointed because we don't want to take these things into account. As a man, the your mother might be the last woman in your life who will love you unconditionally. For lack of a better term, because even a mother's love has certain conditions. It's just that the conditions are broader and wider. The fence of those conditions is very, very far. You really have to really, really mess up for your mother to get to a point where she's saying she's done with you, or for a parent. So, as a man, your mother might be the last woman who will ever love you unconditionally. And as a woman, your father might be the last man in your life who will ever love you despite your many mistakes, despite the fact that you don't work on yourself, you don't improve yourself. That might be the last human being. Your parents might be the last people who will love you just for existing. Because, as I said earlier, that what we call unconditional love is really us trying to say we don't want to change, we don't want to improve ourselves, we don't want to become better people, but we just want people to love us regardless. We just want people to be there and do all those things for us despite all our many shortcomings. But in reality, the reality of many things is that many things are full of conditions. You have to get, you have to give. For people to be there for you, you have to be there for them. This is the reality of life. So this is just what I'm trying to get us to understand, that we must not be delusional. A lot of us are hurt. We find ourselves, oh, I thought he was a good guy. Oh, I thought he was what. No, there is no man who is just buying you things because you are a woman, just for you to exist. He wants something. And if you understand that, you will shut down certain gifts so that you avoid disappointment. Because this is now where we come to value. A woman's value is inherent. Just because you are a woman means you have value. Which value? There is a man who wants to sleep with you, to date you, to take you out. Maybe more on traditional terms, we'll say if you can cook, you can bear children, childbearing. All this is value. On top of that, but all these are things that you don't have to work hard to achieve as a woman. You have them just because you are born like that. There are a lot of men looking at you because they desire you. Many want to sleep with you. Some want to date you. Relationships. Some want to marry you because some want to have children with you. And all these things are inherent. You don't have to go to school to be able to bear children, or or for someone to date you, or for someone to sleep with you. Just because you are a woman, your value is inherent. For men, your value is in providing, protecting, and the more traditional things. And you are not born a provider. You are not born a protector. You must become. To be a provider, just because you are born male, does not mean you are automatically a provider. Doesn't mean you are automatically a protector. You have to become. So, hence, the value here is not the same. This value is inherent. You are born with it. The value on this side is something you have to attain. Just because you exist does not mean you are a provider. And because you exist does not mean there are no women lining up to be with you just because you are a man. There is no such. Men have no inherent value. You are not born valuable, if I can say. That's why I'm saying only your mother, your father, perhaps, your immediate family, they accommodate you just because you exist. This is now this side. But for a woman, it's different. And because of these dynamics of value, we have to protect and to know our value on different fences and really understand what how best we position ourselves in the relationships we go into so that we are not taken advantage of, right? I hope you are following me so far, and I hope there is no offense on any side about these issues. Now,